Ubisoft is bleeding money, bleeding studios, and bleeding goodwill at a rate that should legally qualify as a crime scene. So, what does a company in their position do? They reach into the vault, dust off the one game everyone universally agrees was their masterpiece, and go, please, for the love of God, buy this again. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is real, it's coming this summer, and the dev team just spent the last week answering fan questions about it, which means we now have a complete picture of what's coming back, what's been gutted, and the absolutely deranged thing they had to publicly promise that tells you everything you need to know about the state of modern gaming. For anyone who somehow missed it the first time around, Black Flag was the 2013 entry where Ubisoft accidentally made the greatest pirate game of all time while trying to make an Assassin's Creed game. Edward Kenway, sea shanties, jumping off your ship to harpoon a great white shark. It ruined every other AC game by being too good. People have been begging for a Black Flag remake for so long that asking for it became a meme. Well, congratulations, you got your wish. Monkey's paw curling as we speak. It launches July 9th and the receipts are in. Let's start with the W's because there are real ones. Every side activity from the original is back. Checkers back, diving for treasure back, whaling, which I know is morally complicated, but you have to admit that minigame whips, back. Hunting jaguars in the jungle, all of it. They did not strip mine the side content the way modern Ubisoft loves to do. Kenway's Fleet, that whole system where you capture ships and send them out on missions, that's back too. And they did the impossible, they actually fixed it. If you played the original, you remember Kenway's Fleet was tied to a phone app. A phone app to play part of your $60 console game. That mistake is dead, buried, and salted. Everything is now fully in-game where it belongs, like a normal video game from a normal company that respects your time. Every Edward Kenway costume is coming back, every bar minigame is coming back. The map is the same 16 by 16 kilometer Caribbean playground, except they've expanded some of the cities and thrown in brand new islands. They casually teased that one of these new islands has a secret involving coconuts and bowling, which, I'm sorry, what? Are you telling me that this year we're getting a coconut bowling Easter egg in our pirate sandbox? You have my full and undivided attention, Ubisoft. But now let's talk about what's gone, because the hardcore AC fandom is currently in the streets with torches. The Hidden Blade, the iconic defining franchise named after a weapon, cannot be used as a primary melee weapon anymore. You can only trigger it as part of a bloody finisher inside other combat. And look, I get it, that's basically how it's worked for the last several entries. The Hidden Blade is a real option, hasn't really existed since Syndicate, but this is a remake of a 2013 game where the whole point was preserving what worked. So yeah, fans are mad and they have a point. And speaking of bloody finishers, because this is the part of the show where my eyes start twitching, when the first reveal trailer dropped, fans noticed something missing from combat, the blood. There was no blood when you stabbed dudes, people lost their minds. The community immediately assumed the worst. That Ubisoft was going to patch the blood in later as a paid cosmetic hack or some unhinged premium gore upgrade locked behind a deluxe edition, because that is the timeline we live in. And Ubisoft, I cannot stress this enough, had to publicly go on record and confirm that there will be blood in the final game and it will not be paid DLC. Read that sentence again. A multi-billion-dollar publisher had to swear an oath they would not charge you extra for stab particles. That is where we are as an industry. The fact that the community's first instinct was, they're gonna sell us the blood, and the company couldn't even credibly deny it without an official statement, that should be a wake-up call for everybody. We've been gaslit by season passes and battle passes and premium currency so many times that we now assume every missing feature is a future microtransaction, and we are usually right. We've been trained like Pavlov's dogs, except instead of bells, it's launch trailers, and instead of food, it's a $30 surcharge. Okay, deep breath, back to features. The naval minimap is gone. During ship combat in the original, you had a little radar in the corner that let you see other vessels, currents, and waypoints. That's been replaced with a compass. The devs said this is to keep your eyes on the screen, and honestly, they are right. If you are being real with yourself, you remember staring at that minimap more than the actual ocean. The jackdaw is cutting through a hurricane while you're hunting a man-o-war, and you're hyper-fixated on a 200-pixel circle in the corner of the HUD. Sometimes good design is taking things away, so I'll cautiously give them this one. And the memory corridor, that weird white void you walk through between missions, it's also back. But here's where it gets a little strange. The DNA sequence menus, the whole Animus aesthetic that has been the visual identity of this franchise for almost 20 years, has been stripped out. They're also gutting the modern day storyline almost entirely. Now, the modern day stuff in AC has been a hit or miss for years. I get the impulse to trim it. But if you're remaking the original Black Flag, the Abstergo office sequences where you're an employee playing the Animus as a simulation is the entire framing device of the story. Ripping that out and keeping just the memory corridors is like remaking the Matrix and removing the real world. Now it's just Neo doing kung fu in a closet. It's awkward, it's incomplete, and it's a strange choice to make for fans of a remake. The good news to wrap this on, they're bringing back the classic wanted system. The more you pirate, the more pirate hunters come for you. You can knock your wanted level down by boarding ships or paying bribes. That is a one-to-one return of the original mechanic, and that is exactly what people wanted out of a remake. More of this, please. And I really want this game to be good. Black Flag is one of those rare gaming experiences that holds up emotionally. The moment Edward sings Drunken Sailor with his crew at sunset, the way the soundtrack hits when you're sailing alone at night under a full moon, the friendship with Otwell, the game punched way above its weight class in every category that mattered. And Ubisoft as a company kind of desperately needs this. They have been laying off studios, shuttering live services, eating L after L on franchise reboots, and watching their stock price do its best impression of the Titanic. A great Black Flag remake could be a real lifeline, not a savior. They are way past needing a savior, but at minimum, a sign they can still execute on something fans actually want. We have been burned by the remake label so many times that I want to believe, but I am wearing oven mitts. So what are we left with? On paper, it sounds like 80% W, 20% we'll see. Side content is back, the phone app is dead, the map is bigger, the combat is mostly intact, the Hidden Blade purists are going to riot, the modern day getting carved up is genuinely weird, and the fact that Ubisoft had to swear under oath that blood wouldn't be paid DLC is a whole industry diagnosis on its own. July 9th is the date, mark your calendar, sharpen your cutlasses, and start practicing your sea shanties. Drop a comment below. Are you buying day one, waiting for reviews, or have you been burned so many times you're sailing right past this one entirely? Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. The algorithm thanks you. I thank you, and somewhere out there, Edward Kenway thanks you too. I'll catch you in the next one.